Welcome everyone to today's lesson on Introduction to Economics. My name is Bekbulat Kair, and today we'll be exploring an essential concept in the consumer theory, the budget constraint. Let's dive in. Today's lesson is centered around the budget constraint. We'll learn what it is, how it's calculated, and how changes in price or income affect the consumer's choices. By the end, you'll have a strong grasp of how to apply this concept in real-world scenarios. First of all, let's try to understand what budget constraint is. Budget constraint represents the combination of goods and services that a consumer can purchase given their limited income and prices of these goods and services. Think of it as a boundary of a playground. Your budget is a limit on how far you can go. If something is beyond this boundary, like a game or clothing outside your budget, you can't afford it unless your budget increases or you save up. Inside this boundary are all your affordable choices. Now let's look at the general equation of the budget constraint. Imagine Alina is a student with a weekly budget of $50 to spend on two goods, coffee and sandwiches. The price of one cup of coffee is $5 and the price of one sandwich is $10. General form of the budget constraint consisting of two goods looks like this. Price for the good A, in this case it's a coffee, multiplied by quantity of these cups of coffee, plus price for the good B, in this case we're talking about the sandwiches, multiplied by quantity of these sandwiches, equaling the total budget. In case of Alina, we're talking about the following values. Price for the cup of coffee, $5. Price for one sandwich, $10. Per total budget, she can spend $50. In other words, for Alina, the general equation regarding cups of coffees and sandwiches will be the following. 5 multiplied by quantity of cups of coffee plus 10 multiplied by the quantity of sandwiches equaling 50. In case of drawing this budget line, we need to understand and determine what is the maximum number of coffees and sandwiches Alina can buy if she spends all her money on just one good. If Alina spends her entire $50 budget on coffee, she can purchase 10 coffees. If she spends her entire budget on sandwiches, she can purchase only 5 sandwiches. In other words, so the points of the intercept on the budget line are 10, 0 for coffee and 0, 5 for sandwiches. Let's plot these points and connect them with a straight line. This line represents all the combinations of coffee and sandwiches Alina can afford. Here we may see the visualization that will help you clearly understand the distinction between affordable and affordable choices when working with a budget constraint. In other words, the red zone, the red area right here, which is above the budget line, represent the combinations of coffees and sandwiches which are unaffordable for Alina, while the one below the budget line, blue area, represents everything which is affordable for Alina. But according to the consumer theory, she must spend all her money, so the optimal combination would be located on this budget line, but in this case she will exhaust all her $50 budget. So in other words, red zone is unaffordable, blue zone is affordable, and all combinations which are located directly on the budget line are also affordable. Now let's see what happens when the price of coffee changes. Imagine the barista who is selling her coffee now increase the price from 10 up to $10 per cup, but the price for sandwiches remained the same at $10 per 1 unit. Alina still had the budget of $50. If she spends all her budget $50 on coffee, now she can buy only 5 cups of coffee. The maximum number of sandwiches remain the same, 5 sandwiches. So the new points of interset are 5.0 for coffee and 0.5 for sandwiches. At the same time, we can see that the general equation of the budget constraint is also subject to changes. Since the price per 1 cup of coffee increased from $5 to $10, right here, the new general equation will look like this: 10 multiplied by quantity of cups of coffee plus 10 multiplied by quantity of sandwiches equaling 50. The new graph clearly shows how the higher price of coffee reduces the number of coffees Alina can afford, shifting the budget constraint inwards for coffee. The blue one is the original initial budget line, but now we are dealing with a new budget line with an orange. So the area below the budget line contracted. Now it's smaller since the original budget line shifted inwards to the left for coffee, because the price for the cup of coffee has doubled from $5 up to $10. So new budget line, original budget line. Let's consider the new scenario. What happens when Alina's budget increases? Suppose she received a promotion and now her budget increased to $70, but the price for coffee and sandwiches remained the same. If Alina spends all her $70 budget on coffee, price per 1 cup of coffee in this case is as in initial scenario $5, she can now purchase 14 cups of coffee. If she spends all her $70 budget on sandwiches, at $10 per sandwich she can purchase 7 sandwiches. In other words, the new point of interset are 14.0 for cups of coffee and 0.7 for sandwiches. The general equation is also subject to changes, since the new total budget is now $70. The general equation, the developed and updated general equation will look like this: 5 multiplied by quantity of cups of coffee she can purchase plus 10 multiplied by quantity of sandwiches equaling $70. New budget. This updated graph with distinct colors for the affordable areas. So the light coral region represent the affordable area for original $50 budget. But what do we see right here? The budget line shifted rightwards right here, and now it is of orange color. In other words, the right blue region, including this one, represent the affordable area after the budget increased to $70. In other words, the combinations of goods and services, in this case sandwiches and coffee, she can purchase has increased due to increase in income. So again, original budget line is blue, the new budget line is located to the right, it is higher because of the increase in the budget. In other words, she became richer, really richer. Budget constraint shows all possible combinations of goods that a consumer can afford, given their income and prices of the goods. When prices change, the constraint shifts inward or outward depending on the change in the price, increase or decrease respectively, affecting what is affordable. Similarly, changes in consumers' income also shift the constraint, expanding or limiting their options, taking into account the fact if their income decreased or increased. Thank you for your watching. I hope now you have a clear understanding on the budget constraint. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me utilizing my corporate email address. See you. Goodbye.